So last time we did adding and subtracting. Today we're going to start multiplying. So when you multiply, you are going to multiply the coefficients and you're going to add the exponents. Remember that when you multiply, you add your exponents? Same rule. We're going to distribute. So look at the first one. Do you see how there's a 3x outside of the parentheses? We're going to take that 3x and distribute it through there. So it's one thing at a time. First, it would be 3x times 2x. So 3 times 2 would be 6. X times x would be x squared. That one's a little tricky, honestly, because if it's just an x, what's the exponents on it? 1. So this is 1 and that's 1, and then 1 plus 1 is where the 2 came from. It's just we don't write it if it's a 1, but 1 plus 1 is 2. Minus, and now we're going to distribute the 3x to the 4. So 3x times 4 would be 12x. 3 times 4 is 12, and there's just an x there. And then that's your answer. We just distributed into the parentheses. We're just going to try it a bunch more times. Again, it's just a practice thing, right? So look at the next one. Do you see how there's the 2a cubed b outside? We're seeing that? We're going to distribute that to all 3 parts. Do you remember what it's called if there's 3 terms in it, what we called that? Trinomial, good. So we're going to distribute that to all 3 parts. So it's one thing at a time. Just look at the first one. Like we're multiplying this to the first one. 2 times 6. 12. Okay, go ahead and put 12. Now you have a to the third and a to the second. You add the exponents. So it'd be a to the 5th. You add them. Yeah, when you're multiplying, you add your exponents. A to the 5th. And then what else is kind of just there? B. So that's your first term. Then we're going to put a plus sign, and now we're going to multiply it to the second one. I'm going to try and cover this up here. You would do 2 times 7, which is 14. Now you have an a to the third and then another a. So good. That would be a to the 4th. And then you have b times b, b to the second. 1 plus 1 is 2. We don't write it when they're ones there. 1 plus 1 is 2. Minus, and now we're going to do the third one. I'm going to try and cover these ones up. So you have 2 times 4 is negative 8. We have the negative in there. A to the third, and then there's not another a over here, so it would just be a to the third. And then you have b, and then b squared. B to the third, good. You need to focus through all of the problems, not just the first one, okay? So looking at this one, do you see how there's a negative 2xy out front? Yes. You're going to take that and distribute it to all 3 parts. So just do them one at a time. So look at the first one. Negative 2 times negative 3. 6. Good. The negatives cancel, so that would just be 6. Then you have x times x squared. X to the third. Good. And then y is kind of just there. Now we're going to do the second one. Negative 2 times 4. Negative 8. And then you have x times x. X squared. And then you have y times y. So y squared. Perfect. Now we're going to do the last one. Negative 2 times negative 9. Be plus 18. Now the x is kind of just there. There's not another x over here to combine it with, so it'll just be x. And then, good, y to the third. You have a y and then a y squared. So 1 plus 2 is 3. We're going to do one more together, and then you're going to try one. We're going to take the negative 3n squared that's out front and distribute that through there. So let's look at just the first one. So one thing at a time kind of process. Negative 3 times negative 2. 6n to the 4th. Why is it 4, guys? You add them. 2 plus 2 is 4. All right, now look at the middle one. -3 times 3. Maybe -9. And n to the third. Good, we're getting the hang of it. And then the last one, -3 times 4, -12. And then the n to the second is kind of just there. Okay, so look, you're going to take the 3x and distribute it through there. For the first one, 3 times 5, all right, 15, x to the third. Good. Now do the middle one. It's really in -1. So you're doing 3 times -1, which will be -3 x to the second. Good. And then 3x times 4, the 12, like the x is kind of just there. Did that go okay?
Yeah.
Okay. When we flip over, we're going to do some more advanced ones. Here, the x only gets distributed to these two terms. Why does it not get distributed to the -5x? It's not in the parentheses. So you're going to take that x and distribute it to both of those. These are going to be like 2-step problems, okay? We're going to do some more advanced ones on this side of the paper. So if you distribute the x, you combine them together. So it'll be 3x, 2, good, 3x squared minus 4x, good. You're distributing, it's x times 4, which is just 4x. And then the -5x is like just there. And then in the second step, you combine the like terms. That's like what we did on the quizzes practice today and the quiz review. So what's going to combine together here, the like terms? -4x and -5x. So it'll be 3x squared minus 9x. Good. Good. You just have to practice a couple more. There's only 4 more problems. You can do it. You can't just do one problem and be like, yeah, I got it. You got to try a bunch of them. So look at this one. This is like 2 problems in one. This 4r is going to distribute through these parentheses. And then this 6r is going to distribute through those parentheses. Do you see how it's like 2 kind of separate problems? Okay, thank you for heads nodding. Some of you have already started the problem, which is cool, but just make sure your answer's right. When you distribute through here, 4 times 2, you have 8r to the third. Okay, see, this is where everyone starts to be like, yeah, I got it. And that's cool, but please slow down enough to make sure your answer's right, okay? Minus 12r to the second, good. And then plus, careful, you're multiplying, so it's 20r, good. All right, now we're going to distribute the 6r through. Again, a lot of you are like further than I am through the problem. Just slow down enough to make sure your answer is right. When you distribute the 6r, 6 times 4, 24 r to the third. I'm going to run out of room here. Plus 12r to the second. Good. Plus, do you know 6 times 8? 48. 48 r. Good. Sorry, mine kind of like went down the side of the paper. And now we're going to combine like terms. Look at what goes with the 8r to the third. 24r to the third. That would be 32r to the third. All right, then what's going to go together? Well, if they cancel out, you don't write them at all. So it's just gone. And then 20r and 48r, 68r. Again, just stay focused enough for us to try a few more. If you feel like you got it, that's awesome. Just, you don't want to think you've got it when you don't. We're just going to try a couple more. So here, we're going to distribute the -2z. This one has a negative, so you got to be careful. What will the first one give you? -8 z to the third. Good. Okay. Now, when you do the next one, -2 times -3 plus 6 z to the second. Good. Oh my gosh, you guys are getting this. Awesome. And then -2z times 1 is -2z. Anything times 1 is not going to change. This next one also has a negative. So you have to be really careful. That negative comes with you when you distribute. So you're doing negative z times each of these. So what will it be for the first one? Good, negative 3z to the third. And when you go to the next one, again, that negative comes with you. So it'll be negative 2z to the second. Good, perfect. And then negative z times negative 1. Well, it'll be plus z. And you can put the 1 in front of that if you want. So that looks awful, but we're going to just combine the like terms together. So negative 8z to the third, we'll go with, good. Okay, they're both negative. This one had a ton of negatives. Negative 8 and negative 3, negative 11z to the third. All right, then you've got 6z squared minus 2z squared, so positive 4z squared. And then negative 2z plus 1z is minus 1z or just minus z. Kind of wish it wasn't z's. I put lines through my z's so you can tell they're not 2's. I kind of wish we could just use x. This one's got a lot of parentheses. Again, if you think you've got it, that's great, but keep paying attention because this one's a little bit different. This 2 is only going to distribute to what parts? The first set of parentheses. Good. So let's distribute the 2 through there. 8x squared. Good. It'll be minus 4x. Good. Here, the negative comes with you. You're distributing negative 3 into the next set of parentheses, but just bring the negatives are the most commonly missed thing ever. You got to be careful. Negative 3 times negative 6 plus 18x squared. Are you looking at this one right here or one of the ones we already did? There's not an x with the 2. It's just a 2. There's not like an x with it. So none of the x's changed. So we just did 2 times 4 was 8, and then the x squared was kind of just there. And then we did 2 times negative 2 was negative 4, and the x was kind of just there. The variable didn't change because it was literally just a 2. And same with this one, it's just a number. It's just negative 3, so that's not going to change. So 18x squared, and then negative 3 times 4 be negative 12. Good. And then last set of parentheses, we're going to distribute the 2x into there. Now, this one does have an x with it, so that is going to change the variables. Plus 2x squared, good. 1 and 1 makes 2. And then minus 2x. 2x times 1 is just going to be 2x. When you multiply by a 1, it's just itself. And then you're going to put the stuff together. So what is going to go with the 8x squared? Oh, yeah, good eyes. There's 3 of them that are going to go together. So 8 plus 2 is 10. That's kind of how I would do that in my head. And then plus 18 would be 28x squared. Minus 4x and minus 2x. Minus 6x. And then the minus 12 is kind of like all alone. All right, so I need you guys to watch, and we'll go over it together. This 2b is only getting distributed through the first set of parentheses. So that should give you 2b to the third plus 8b squared plus 16b. Cool. Okay, heads nodding. Now, when you distribute here, the negative comes with you. So this would be negative 9b to the third minus 27b to the second. Oh, and then these will cancel. That'll be plus. Oh, did you use, if you opened your computer and use a calculator for that, that's fine. It'd be 18 times 3. Or B. Why is that one positive? Negatives canceled. How did you do that in your head? You did. Oh, that was clever. Cool. All right, and then we're going to put it together. 2b to the third minus 9b to the third. That would be negative 7b to the third. All All right, and then we've got 8b squared minus 27. Oh, that's why you asked me that. Minus 19b squared. And then 16b plus 54b, d 70b. Just b.